Hello, this is Dale Matthews, and I'm joined by Mike Jones. And as you can see over my shoulder, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I've got NBC Sports on one, and I've got the famous 1984 Macintosh ad. You know, a lot of people, they watch the Super Bowl because they love football. It's not usually the most interesting game of the year. They watch the Super Bowl because they're Americans and they think, well, this is part of American culture. And increasingly, you know this, a lot of people are watching the Super Bowl because of the fantastic, amazing, expensive ads that play. And do you remember this one from 1984? Mike has put together a compilation. I haven't seen a lot of these, especially the ones from this year. And so Mike's grabbed these up, and we're going to put them on, and the whole show we're just going to talk about Super Bowl ads. Okay, now you don't need to watch the game. You can just
Well,
watch the ads.
now, as you know, a bit of a qualifier, they do put out really most of the ads before the game's even played. Now they're on YouTube. However, they're certainly, almost certainly, going to play some that have never been seen anywhere before. I mean that happens at the Super Bowl every year. So we'll play a few of the old iconic ones that we all know, and then we're going to get into the ones that are happening this year, and even a couple of ones that got banned even before they aired. So you won't see those in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So everybody remembers this one. This is the 1984 Macintosh ad.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of any contradictory influence. Of course, is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Ooh.
It still gets to me.
Well, you know what's funny about that? One thing that I just noticed that I'd never ever seen before in that commercial, and it looks like the guy is wearing two pairs of glasses, one pair behind the other pair, which I don't know, maybe that was some kind of illusion. And I was just saying this to Dale because we were hassling about what we were going to play, and how ironic it is that 1984 isn't going to be like 1984 because of the computer, and yet we are spied on to no greater degree than we are on our computers. So,
Well, the other things that are fairly ironic about this is at the time, IBM computers, they were making computers, and they were considered to be top of, everybody was using an IBM computer, and it had a black screen with yellow writing on it in most cases.
or
And
green.
Or green, yes, and everybody was concerned about the amount of space that was on there and how much memory it had. And the people at Apple came in and they had a graphically oriented computer. What? What's that mean?
Right. Yeah.
And they had a mouse attached to this thing, which was like a bar of soap. And the advertising from IBM at that moment, Big Blue, I'm wearing a big blue shirt, although they would never allow any of their executives to wear a blue shirt at work, always white button down with a tie. This is who they were.
This sounds familiar.
This was the symbol of IBM, and they had ads at the time that said, IBM, you won't waste time mousing around.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, they kind of went Well, I mean, it was interesting because it took them a few years, or really into the early '90s, before people got back into the Windows 3.1, and which was a total ripoff of the Apple
User interface.
GUI interface. Yes, the
Graphical user interface, right. And it started another abbreviation, WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get.
Right, yes.
Because in order to be able to lay stuff out in those days and make it look nice on a poster or something that you were going to send to somebody, you had to do all these codes and everything, and you never quite knew how it was going to turn out until you actually printed it. And then you say, oh, no, it's upside down, or it's the wrong, it's white on white. And the Macintosh said, oh, you want it to look this way? Well, we'll show you what this is going to look like.
Right.
The other thing that happened, which I thought was interesting, is that, and it's still the case, I think, is that anybody that used an IBM-style computer could buy the components from 1,000 different vendors.
Right.
Apple said, no, you can only buy these from us, because we want to make sure that when you plug them together, that it's plug and play, and it will always work the first time. You don't need to worry about drivers and a lot of other code.
Mm-hmm.
It's
right.
all so that they could guarantee that it was going to work. But isn't it funny that on the other side you had less choice with better operability? Less
right.
choice.
Yeah, well, and that actually put them in the bottom of the market for many years, and during the '90s was not really a good time for the Apple Computer Company. They were tanking, and until they got Steve Jobs to come back and revive them, but. And we're getting off into the computer weeds here.
Oh, we are. Oh no, because we're computer guys. Because I got two computers over my. These are only the ones that you see,
yes.
right? But about the ad was so literally iconoclastic, and it does remind me of a county commissioners meeting. You notice nobody in the audience was allowed to chuckle. But she's running. She's got these famous orange shorts on, and. She's, how do I kind of put this? She's a lot bouncier than I remember, especially for an ad in those days. And she's wheeling this thing around. They're all after her. It breaks down the screen. What she's doing. It really was a change. Unlike car ads, oh, this is totally different. No, it's not. Oh, you won't even recognize it. People will turn and look at it. No, that's a big lie. But these computers were really different.
Right. Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, it was all part of the evolution. You look back on it now, and it looks kind of hokey, but in reality, it was a big thing. It put in people's minds that this is a new time, and so it was, so it became.
And literally a breakthrough. Now, on the next one Mike's going to show you, there was a breakthrough of a different kind, in that usually the ads were things like the Budweiser, Clydesdales, and they didn't use a lot of things to break through to you that were a difference in character. You could pretty much expect what you'd normally see from commercials at that time were a straightforward way of showing it, and people weren't going to sort of drop their defenses in a lot of mainstream commercials. This one took a completely different kind of turn, and it had a surprise ending. Go ahead, Mike.
Please, give him that.
Mr. Greene? Mr. Greene?
Yeah.
You need any help? I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good, makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to say,
Thank you.
the whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola has life, Have a good day.
Thanks, Mean Joe.
Smile.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how the music is at the time. I'm sure it was very catchy and in and all that kind of stuff. Seems really hokey now.
Well, you got to kind of put yourself back in that time and think, we weren't seeing a lot of commercials like that. It was a Super Bowl commercial. It got very popular. A lot of people were talking about it. And really, it did, all kinds of people were saying how much they loved that. And that scene still, this is stupid, it still sort of chokes me up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll tell you what. It's funny because in order to play these back right, because there's a little bit of a bandwidth issue you may have noticed between Dale and my place here, and so I have to have them all loaded on here. I can't just play them off of YouTube during the show, and so I've reviewed every one of these, and yeah, it kind of push the button there, and it still works after nearly 40 years.
So these 40-year-old ads, they're getting to you a little bit, Mike. Really, it's
well,
okay.
That one, yeah, definitely the Mean Joe Greene ad. I mean, just when I watched it just now, I had seen it earlier today, so done. But it does pull at your heartstrings there, and that's by the way from 1979, so it's not quite true.
Wow. That's really amazing. Well, it has the same effect on me, and I'm saying, well, maybe I'm getting soft in my old age. I'm not that old, but yeah, golly, it still reaches out and it still means something to us. Now, I haven't asked, except for those two, I haven't asked to see any of the ads at all. So I'll be watching them like most of our audience would be for the very first time. Isn't this great? Isn't it great to be able to watch these ads way before anybody else, or maybe, during this, maybe you've seen a couple of them already during the show here, because, we're on at 7 o'clock. But now's your chance to see these ads independent of any commercialism? I don't think so. And by the way, Mike, does this mean now
what are you talking about?
Does this mean now we're a commercial site?
We're watching commercials without the commercial influence. Yeah.
Okay, play the next one. I'm really looking forward to this because I haven't seen them.
This one, they say got banned. I think they just thought better of it after, animal lovers. I mean, listen, you can have, you can beat your kid in public and get less attention than you would if, somehow your dog is mistreated. So, anyway, this is a GoDaddy commercial.
Mike, is this the famous one that people have been talking about with the puppy?
Yes.
I haven't seen it. Go.
Yeah, and they pulled it because they got a negative reaction when they previewed it. So here it is.
It's Buddy! I'm so glad you made it home. Because I just sold you on this website I built with GoDaddy. Ship 'em out!
Get your domain and website all in one place at GoDaddy.com.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's it works for me.
It's not very nice, but yeah, I can see the little kids at home. Oh, Mommy, that's terrible. They're gonna
She's seeing the puppy coming up the driveway, dollar signs,
Yeah. Oh, Buddy.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, it definitely gets attention. All right, so
now speaking of getting attention.
Yeah.
This next one got banned for a different reason, and this is a Carl's Jr. ad. Now, I know that Dale loves Carl's Jr., as I do. If you want a really big hamburger, you go to Carl's Jr.
Those $6 burgers are like this big.
Yes. Well, this commercial's got big stuff in it, too.
Oh, boy.
So, here we go.
I love going all natural. It just makes me feel better. Nothing between me and my 100% all natural, juicy, grass-fed beef.
Introducing the all-natural burger, the first ever in fast food, with no antibiotics, no added hormones, and no steroids. Only at Carl's Jr.
I'm going to have to differ with him on the no added hormones part of that.
Oh, you mean feel like your hormones have been stimulated by watching that?
Well, I can't imagine why they would think better of having that commercial. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's no, I don't understand
thinking
that.
of all of the friends he has that goes to church. I don't want to say anything here. It's going to get me in trouble.
She was given this by God. I mean, don't hide your light under a bushel. Wow, I don't know if she'd show up at church dressed like that, but or with a burger, for that sake. So okay, that banned. Really?
Well, listen. Obviously, they sell a lot of hamburgers with this kind of advertising because they've continued to do it here for quite a few years. So, yeah, I guess you can't second guess them on that if it's working.
Well, I'm surprised that was banned. It was very interesting. It got you thinking in a certain way.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
As we shift in our seats. Okay. Play another one there.
Okay. Now, this one, speaking of, God-given, stuff, this one is set about 4 billion years ago. And it's an avocado advertisement.
With the next pick in the first draft ever, Australia selects the kangaroo.
Yes. I like that pick. Get up, hops, jump, vertical.
Brazil selects the sloth.
Off the field issue. Not a locker room guy.
The United States selects wheat. Wheat. Madagascar selects lemur. China, ginkgo biloba. Botswana selects the zebra. Uh-oh. And with the next pick, we have a trade. Mauritius has traded for the dodo bird. And Mexico selects beach. The avocado.
Great pick. Love it. That makes a ton of sense. Rich volcanic soil. Perfect weather. That'll make avocados from Mexico the ideal year-round snack.
Grown with love since the beginning of time.
Avocados from Mexico.
What?
Yes, avocados. Who would have guessed that you'd even make $4.5 million to pay for an advertisement like that selling avocados, much less actually. Yes.
Avocados from Mexico?
From Mexico, yes.
These are up with bouncy girls and beer and Clydesdales and puppy. Right. Really, avocados?
Well, wait a minute. Jerry Rice was in there. They had the football draft atmosphere and commentary.
Well, I imagine some people are at home dipping their calorie-intensive chips into avocado dip. That's certainly possible, and maybe there's somebody out there that still has an avocado green refrigerator in which they store their beer. But avocado as a Super Bowl ad.
Well, I love avocados. I love guacamole, and listen, apparently they're selling a lot of the stuff because they can blow it's 4 million. It's different stories. Between $4 and $4.5 million for a 30-second advertisement.
Well, you watch something like 60 Minutes. There are still people who do. And unfortunately, it's on at the same time as us. And, of course, we completely outpull all the audiences
yes, of
for
course.
our show instead. 7 o'clock on Sundays. And they'll have some special on today. Yeah, right. They're going to go up against the Super Bowl. But you watch the advertisements on 60 Minutes, and you know who's watching it. There's something for ED. There's something for too much gas. There's something for you're going to die tomorrow, and this will put it off to the next day. There's all this stuff. You may refinance your mortgage. Yeah. So who's watching
They've
it.
done their homework on their demographic there.
They have. So Mexican avocado growers have figured that the big part of their audience they're going to reach out and grab them are people who watch the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of people enjoying guacamole while watching the Super Bowl.
Well, I like them, and kids worldwide are trying to grow avocado seeds in a glass of water for their middle school project. But still, there are a lot of people who hate guacamole and avocados. I don't completely understand them. Have you ever tried putting lemon on it and maybe a little bit of salt, just a little bit? A Super Bowl ad for avocados.
Yeah, well, go figure. Now, Dale was just wanting some, Budweiser Clydesdales and the like. So here is the first of a couple of Budweiser Clydesdale ads.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be there for all the 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
So Budweiser will protect you from wolves.
That's the message, isn't it? I mean, this is to sell beer.
That's what I got out of it. That's what I got.
You could throw a beer can at the wolf.
Right.
It's a cute ad, and it does lead you to the money shot, which is the Budweiser logo. And it's kind of sweet, and you feel good things about Budweiser, I guess. And a lot of people watching the Super Bowl are going to be drinking Bud. We're used to the Clydesdales. Imagine the gathering when they were talking about spending this kind of money on an advertisement.
Well, that was a 1-minute spot too. So I mean, does that mean they paid $8 million, or did they get a special deal because they bought a whole minute?
Oh well, it's Budweiser. Wow.
Yeah.
And again, Mike. What's the message? I like the ad. I like it. Okay, it's a wonderful ad. But what's the message?
Puppies and beer. It's a love thing, and protection from wolves. Those are all good, and we're gonna lump those in with Budweiser.
Well, it obviously now
I can tell
they want you to feel good things about Budweiser.
Sure.
Okay. And so the goal of this is that people will say, okay, is it softening the image of beer? Is it making women and children feel more like drinking beer?
Yeah, you might be overanalyzing it just a little.
The pet owner market, another puppy ad. That's amazing.
But puppies and kittens and stuff like that are very, very popular, and if they can connect people's love of puppies and kittens to love of beer, then that's a winner.
So the internet, as we all know, is it has two main attributes. One is there's sex on the internet, okay, and you get that from our show. And then the other thing is comedy. We get comedy in our show, as Mike always says. And then there's kittens. It's the kitten network. It's
right.
Kittens and sunshine all the way. And so there might be an ad that shows a drunken kitten in a stupor, and that's gonna help sell beer.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on now.
Okay.
This one is well, it's a car commercial. I'll just let you can figure it out for yourself.
On the Super Bowl?
Fantastic. I feel great, Chad. I mean, you look. Thank you.
Been working out?
What you got, Chad?
Pierce, I'm so glad you're here because I got a role that is perfect for you, man.
Don't tell me. Action adventure.
Sort of. All right, picture this. We open on you. You're driving in a beautiful car up a snowy mountain road. You're going...
200 miles an hour?
No, 30. You look up in the trees and you see?
Sniper.
No, an owl. You come around a bend, there's something blocking your way.
A missile launcher, right?
No, a moose.
A moose. What's the mission?
Oh, there is no mission.
Top secret, huh?
Yeah, sort of. So you keep going towards the summit, your destination, and there it is, a cabin.
A cabin. And it explodes.
What? No, it's just a cabin.
No explosions.
No explosions, but there are fireworks.
Oh, I like fireworks.
Right?
Can I keep the car?
Oh, yeah, you can keep the car.
Okay, I'm in.
That was pretty good. A lot of special effects. Listen, I wonder what it cost them to make that commercial, much less the time, the money they spent for the time on that.
This behind-the-scenes thing worked for me when I was back in the dating age, and I remember there were a couple of times I went out on like a blind date. I was dating a lot, and I started doing a thing where I'd say to my date, you're probably wondering how things are going to go. I mean, I was a little bit nervous before coming here about meeting you for the first time. Already she's starting to feel a little disarmed by saying this, and I actually said a couple of times, you may even be wondering, this is obviously not, she wasn't wondering this, but you may even be wondering at the end of this wonderful date if I'm going to kiss you or something. And I said, you know what? Why don't we get that out of the way right now? I'll just kiss you right now. And it's just disarming to say to somebody, I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm wondering if you're feeling the same way, and this kind of relax a little bit, okay. And I like this behind the scenes kind of thing. I realize I'm reaching a little bit here, but it's certainly story dialogues take place like this before they make every commercial, and jumping to a conclusion and being sit back and. I like it. It's a fresh way of looking at an automobile ad. Are they ever fresh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, here's one that it's a T-Mobile ad starring Kim Kardashian.
Hi, I'm Kim. Each month, millions of gigs of unused data are taken back by wireless companies. Tragic. Data you paid for that could be used to see my makeup, my backhand, my outfits, my vacations, and my outfits. Sadly, all lost. Please, help save the data.
Great.
Yes, and did she mention her outfits?
You're right. That's very interesting. Using a little bit of humor, of course, is great, but also making a little bit of fun of herself and using a fresh angle on something, and it's totally different than the rest of their ads.
Well, okay. And speaking of the rest of their ads, if you thought that they're hurting their credibility by going with Kim Kardashian, here's the other ad that's going to run in the Super Bowl.
What's that, Lloyd? A vulture?
Yeah, it's from my wireless carrier. Every month I buy a bunch of data, and this thing waits around to scavenge whatever I don't use.
You know, Lloyd, T-Mobile lets me keep the data I pay for.
I'll look into that, Heather.
Not going to happen. Keep your unused data up to a year with Data Stash, only from T-Mobile.
Not quite as cute, but kind of funny, yeah. Painting the other guys into into a corner. Go.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have this problem because, I'm at home near a wireless network most of the time. But if I were out running around, like my son, he streams a lot of music while he's out at the beach or some other place, and he's constantly telling me how he's almost running out of data, so he can't watch the video I sent him or something.
Yes.
And, so yeah, it's addressing a problem that we all have to one degree or another if we're cell phone users.
Did you just catch me rubbing my nose? How about if I do this? Okay. There I'm sticking my finger all the way up my nose. That's nice. Very attractive.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
I think I saw it on Seinfeld.
Right. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. This is a cute ad that they did. This is a Snickers ad, and Snickers has been doing this thing where your friend or somebody turns into some celebrity who's having a bad day because their blood sugar's low or something like that. So here's another ad like that along those same lines.
Marcia, what happened?
Peter hit me in the nose with a football. I can't go to the dance like this.
Well, I'm sure it was an accident, sweetheart.
An eye for an eye. That's what Dad always says.
I never said that, honey.
Shut up! Time to teach Peter a lesson.
Marcia, eat a Snickers.
Why?
You get a little hostile when you're hungry. Better? Better.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Jan, this isn't about you.
It never is.
Cute. That's very cute. With two celebrities, that's very cute. Now, I would imagine that some of the people in the audience aren't going to have a clue who the heck they're talking about. And what's all this laughter in the background? Speaking of laughter, go ahead. Speaking of laughter, go ahead. Well,
no, I was just going to say that show's about 40 years old. It hasn't been on the air in 40 years.
Yes, well, sometimes in replays. But speaking of laughter, okay, there's a laugh track and Snickers. You all know. You didn't think we'd go through a whole show without just a tiny bit of politics. Snickers are no longer allowed in the county commissioners' meetings. You can't even sit there and have a grin on your face, or you're going to be asked to leave the room.
Oh, I didn't make that connection.
Snickers are banned by the county commissioners officially. And the thing that you're watching, the fact that you're watching this show about, I can't help it, Mike, the fact that you're watching this show about Super Bowl commercials and we're having a great time, the fact that you're watching it is a tragedy.
Yes, it is a tragedy.
According to Cheryl Walker, it's a tragedy.
It is a tragic event. Now, Dale was talking about Clydesdales earlier, and we played the first of two ads. Here is the second of two ads featuring the Clydesdales, or at least one of them. Yeah, put that foo-foo beer back.
Yeah. That was subtle.
Yeah, I think if a 7-foot horse was staring me in the face, I'd buy the brand of beer he wanted me to buy too.
Okay, so subtle. So here's this this guy. This was several years ago. A famous basketball player in China, in communist China, whatever we call it these days.
Mm-hmm. You talking about Yao Ming?
Probably.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was on the China national Olympic team. Basketball in the Olympics, I don't know. Go figure. So they had him do an ad, and they at the time they had no ads on Chinese television, and so this guy gets up at the beginning and he's talking about what a pleasure it is, what an honor it is to represent China at the Olympics, and that the team is all pulling together, like, you know, what a good thing it is to be part of a team. Everything is awesome. So so he's talking about that, and then he reaches down and he grabs a bottle of Coca-Cola. There's no logo on the side. There's Chinese writing for Coca-Cola. And he takes a swig, clunk, 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 and he puts it down. All you can see is the shape of the bottle. The next day in China, Coca-Cola sold out all across the country.
Yeah, go figure.
Just the power of suggestion.
Well, yep. He's a powerful figure over there.
So in this case, Clydesdale is a powerful figure. It was a subtle ad. I mean, you got the point, but that's enough for Budweiser.
Yeah, or buy Budweiser, or something bad might happen to you.
Yeah, I guess so. Or
you might get trampled by a horse.
You might be eaten by a wolf.
Yeah, no, that's true. Or trampled by a large horse. You know, so
Budweiser's using these fear techniques. It sounds like the reason that we're supposed to vote for a levy. Oh, you better do it, or you could be eaten by wolves. They're getting big out there in the county. Really?
That's right.
Oh, but as the sheriff said in an interview the other day, don't try to arm yourself. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, don't do that. We'll be there in an hour or two. Yeah.
Not if wolves are going to eat you. Go ahead.
Okay, now this is another an ad based on a famous event where Katie Couric and Bryant Gumbel are on the Today Show, and they're having a discussion about the internet and what the @ sign means and all of this stuff, and that got a lot of play back in the early 90s. Now, this is a new BMW commercial playing off the same situation. Here it is.
Back now at 56 past, I wasn't prepared to translate that. That little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark. There it is. At amfeedback.com. I mean, what is internet anyway? What do you write to it like mail?
Here's Allison. Can you explain what internet is?
See, that's what I said. What do you mean there's nothing under the hood? Katie said she thought this was a car.
Yeah.
And it's built using wind? Like from a windmill?
Or a fan? Or a turbine? Or a fan vine?
Wow. I mean, what is i3 anyway?
Allison, can you explain what i3 is?
The all-electric BMW i3, built in a wind-powered factory with the strength of carbon fiber and BMW performance.
Come on, loosen up, Gumbel.
Can you twerk?
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Kevin knew.
Wow. Man, maybe they should have banned that commercial. Katie Couric's talking about twerking. Holy moly.
Did you notice the suicide doors?
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so it's funny that they were. By the way, you know that symbol for and, the and symbol. You could call it the and symbol. There's a name for that. It's called the ampersand.
Yes, that's right.
But the @ symbol, there's no special name for that. I don't know. Trivia. Internet trivia. What else are you going to hear on our show? Well, you hear news and comedy. Go ahead.
Yes, comedy. Now, you know, I mean, this is going to seem odd to you here, but we're already at the last of the ads that I loaded up.
Oh, now, wait just a second. For anybody watching our show, they could say, gee, this show seems to be going a little long. Did you know that if you have a show like this, you can go any length that you like?
That's right.
Aren't you lucky that this show, lucky, I'm really enjoying myself, Dale. Aren't you lucky the show isn't in its second hour? But
Yes.
we could.
Yes.
We're just making it shorter so that we'll stop getting complaints from Sandy Casanelli saying, oh, the show is so long.
That's right. That's right. Although she won't be able to enjoy this because we are actually watching it and not just hearing it. So anyway, yes, that's a joke. There's going to be a lot more commercials than this on the Super Bowl, obviously.
Well, and as the Super Bowl continues, there's going to be more, and they might have them on the end of the show. You've probably seen some of these already during the Super Bowl, which you're probably watching in the background. Hey, we're more entertaining than this boring game. Come on. Okay, go ahead. It's live.
All right. So, and this is the last one. It is a Geico commercial, and I just thought it was funny. There was several of them, and I picked this one.
Young folks today be talking about the swag. I got all the swag. Been had it. Look at my house. Nice lawn, got TV, all the channels. DVR, I never miss Matlock. I got gold chains. Who's got the swag now? Look at my tennis shoes. I got a new wife. She's a fox. Look at her, y'all. Who got the swag now? Come on, baby. Show 'em what you got. Go on, go ahead. She's so bad, I had to put a ring on her. I would have put 2 rings on her, but that ain't the style. Who got the swag now? Y'all be saying, I wish I was like the old dude. How he do that? Well, I made a call on my cell phone, and in just 15 minutes, I saved 15% on my auto insurance with Geico. More money in my pocket. Who got the swag now? I did.
Wow.
So this makes me want to buy insurance. How? I'm not sure.
It really goes over big in Grants Pass?
Yes, I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty funny. He's got some,
he's
got some swag, though. You got to admit
my
it.
favorite part is when he's talking about, I'm watching Matlock.
Yes. I never miss Matlock because I got a DVR.
Right.
He's got the swag. Yes, sir.
I have a feeling, I might be wrong, you got to correct me, Mike, that this is appealing to a demographic a little bit different than us.
Yeah, perhaps. I think it's playing off, pop culture and how it's funny to see, somebody riding by on a motorcycle and then they come to the red light or whatever and they take off their helmet and it's a granny. You wouldn't expect granny to be driving, crazy on a motorcycle or something like that. That's the whole idea.
Well, though normally when it's a slightly older audience, you're going to see somebody like Fred Thompson, and he's walking by the news vendor, and he wants the newspaper from him. And he starts talking about refinancing your mortgage, about the program through the government, and he flips the guy a quarter for a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Or they a quarter.
I've seen that one, and I think aren't they talking about like reverse mortgages in that?
Yes, but he flips him a quarter. It's like that phrase of, I'm going to drop a dime on him. You're going to drop a dime? Are you going to bother to pick it up?
Well, and the funny thing is that who's seen a payphone? When's the last time you remember actually seeing a payphone?
Right. Now, I'm sure there's somebody in Humboldt County. I'm sure there probably is. There's somebody in Josephine County that has a payphone at their house. There's always going to be somebody. But we see these anachronistic, woohoo, what a big word. We see these things occasionally, and it is fun to juxtapose them with modern pop culture, okay, if you want to put it that way. And it's kind of funny. But then occasionally you have to wonder, well, now this is a Super Bowl ad. And it's selling to what demographic?
Well, I think they're trying to cut across a few of them with that ad, and you know, I mean, they're selling insurance and probably mostly to, you know, the middle of the market there.
What happened to?
No,
I'm not putting it down. I like funny commercials, ones that are actually funny. I didn't find that to be so much, but I like funny commercials and poignant commercials. You got to say that just right. Poignant. Okay, I like those. I like those. But what happened to the ads where they go glug 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 glug? Whew, that was good beer.
Yeah.
You got to trick the audience. Look, here's a puppy, and he's drunk. Isn't that funny? And buy beer. No, wait a minute.
Right, and when you look at this, what part of what he was doing has anything to do with car insurance?
Absolutely none, which is my point.
Well, and the other there was this Geico commercial, and then there was another commercial, and boy, I think it was Esurance.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to get it.
Oh no, I'm not playing anything else.
Yeah, okay.
There was another commercial with Lindsay Lohan in it, and I thought, well, the only way I could go lower than this would be to go with that, so I chose this.
You know, the idea that you're going to get people's attention, whether you're irritating, or you're poignant, or you're funny, and now that you've got their attention, then you show them a beer logo. Okay, I get that, because they have to test these out in front of, you know, a room full of people that are going to say, but you need to be careful about the amount of attention you get. Do you remember several years ago there was a Superbowl where two different employment firms, they were mass employment firms, were putting up ads saying, if you want an ad, if you want to get a job, then respond to this ad by going to the internet. Ooh, the internet, what does that mean? And go onto our website and we will help you get a job. There were two companies. One was Monster.com, which prospered unbelievably from this internet ad, and they got all this business in, and they handled it. There was another one. We can't remember the name of the firm.
Yes, that's right.
And they got pretty much the same response, but they were not ready for it, and they went out of business.
You know, I mean, there's a lesson in there. It's like you best be ready to do your best when you put the ad out. You better have enough widgets to sell.
And if you're going to advertise on the internet, you better be, unlike these ads, you better be serious about business.
Well.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. This was entertaining and had a lot better outcome than this year's Super Bowl.
Stay tuned for